good one. Okay, to the Demochettes, I guess that's what their name is called. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly. Okay, uh, to start with, I am a 77-year-old individual who, in his early days, did a lot of hitchhiking around my country, that being Canada. I've crossed this country east coast to west 4 times, uh, and mostly hitchhiking. I've traveled once or 2 times, other than the 4 times by Shanksmere, uh, by train. Very expensive mode of travel now, and it wasn't back whenever I was doing the thing. Uh, Hold on a second. I gotta turn my sound down on the television. There we are. Anyway, the Demochettes, very nice couple. I do invite you to come to Canada. You'd be more than welcome here. And on the subject of what you now call poutine, I didn't add the cheese to my chips and gravy, although whenever I was 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, yes, a good number of years on the highway, Shanksmere, and, the odd ride. Uh, my main course of sustenance was chips and gravy. I It was the cheapest thing I could buy. I mean, at the time, a bowl of French fries was 25 cents and an extra 10 cents for a double scoop of gravy. And that would be my sustenance for a good long time. So whenever somebody in Quebec came up with the idea of adding cheese curds uh, to my original chips and gravy, and then got famous for it, yeah, I thought, damn and all, why could that not have been me? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I still enjoy chips and gravy, and no, I don't put cheese curds on it. I just like good old fashioned, well made beef gravy, right? Uh, Best gravy in the world comes from a roast of beef, you see, and I make good roast beef. Anyway, also, I'm a stew lover. I love stew, beef stew, pork stew. Love it, big time. Anyway, um, oh Lord, I don't know if any of this is going to go out, and if anybody's even watching this, but he said a video under the auspices of the Shadow Mage, a friend of mine. Uh, anyway, on with the chips and gravy. Yeah, I lived on it for a good many years, chips and gravy. And it's amazing. You add a bit of cheese, and all of a sudden it becomes a Canadian staple. No, no, no. Uh, it's a modern day thing. Uh, I guess poutine came out in the last 10 or 15 years. I don't know, something like that. It's That's how new it is to me. I don't know about others. Anyway, chips and gravy have been around for me for ever since I was 17, which is when I started this. Uh, um, Lord Almighty. Uh, yeah, and at the time, in the beginning, chips and gravy, I could have double gravy and chips for 75 cents Canadian. It's gone beyond that now. I mean, it's friggin' ridiculous. You can't possibly get a side of fries for that much anymore. Oh, and I forgot. I always had either my coffee or a soft drink of some kind. I'm not going to give labels out because I'm not here to advertise. Sometimes I would have a cola, sometimes I would have a ginger ale or whatever. A lot of times it was just coffee because I needed to keep myself awake on the roads. Good Lord, I spent so many hours on the road. 401 highway between Trenton, Ontario and Toronto, Toronto. And that was in the early days. I did a lot of traveling back and forth. And then I started to widen my distances. I spent a while in Montreal. I like Montreal. I like Montreal a lot. Uh, However, there was one day uh, back then there were some problems with gangs in Montreal, and I unfortunately was a victim of one of those. And that'll be a story down the road, maybe not. However, um, anyway, just wanted to talk about poutine, otherwise known as chips and gravy with a bit of curd on top. Anyway, that's me. That's it for today. Um, I thought I was going to go a little longer, but there's not really much else I want to say. I'm a sculptor, poet, singer, songwriter, totally unknown to anyone. And I'll probably, maybe posthumously at some point, someone will discover my work. The piece on the wall behind me, right there, is carved by me, red cedar. And I have a few other pieces. Uh, I make rings. I carve in wood, stone. I work in steel, bronze, and a few other materials. I paint in oils. I paint in acrylics. I use pastels as well, chalk and oil. Yeah, mm, I write poetry. I do write poetry. I don't know if I'm going to. Maybe I don't know. Just a minute. I'm going to get a book of my book of poetry, which I wrote. Yeah. Okay. My wife bound my poetry. Lovely book is. She does a good job, doesn't she? Eh? Binding my books. And this is only one of many. Anyway, this I entitled it "A Tome of Humble Verse." I don't know if you can read that. It's not very clear, is it? Anyway, it's. But my wife does the calligraphy and the layout of my book. Um, However, I did all the artwork in the book. And anyway, that's one of the many things I do. I play music. I write music. Well, I write it in my head. I've never written it down on paper. I've got my tunes all up here. It never published. I tried to get into show business a long time ago, but I was never good at it because I guess I don't have one of those personalities that crowds like. Uh, Ears get itchy with these earphones on. Anyway, this is the way I've done things anyway. Um, just wanted to introduce myself anyway and let you know this is who I am and where I am and what I do. So, oh, Ozzy Cash, hi. Uh, if you want to know more about early Canada rather than the modern things that you've come to learn and appreciate about us, um, I'll try and do some more videos to enlighten you as to the ups and downs and ins and outs of the life and experiences of a man of 77 years in Canada. Anyway, uh, uh, if I get around to it, I'll do it. Otherwise, it's going to be just this video, I suppose. I have one or two other ones on here. Nobody seems to watch, right? Holding with the idea that I'm not a well-liked individual. I'm totally unknown, so I mean, people go to personalities they know and so on and so forth. I'm not among that number. Uh, anyway, I think I'll exit now, and I hope to see you sometime down the road. Go live again at some point. Take care. God bless. Bye now.